I'm Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on polynomials. Here is a test paper from my IB student, grade 9. There are 12 questions in this test paper. I'd like you to pause the video, copy these questions, solve them, and then look into my suggestions. Now you can have a look at the application and thinking questions. Right? We are now going to solve them one by one. First few questions are knowledge based. We just need to simplify the given expressions. 3x squared plus 5x minus 3 times x squared minus 2x. So when you expand, rather in this case we just to open the brackets, we have 3x squared plus 5x. When you open the bracket, the sign will change here, right? So we have minus 3x squared and it becomes plus 3 times 2 is 6x. Now we have to combine the like terms. So we have 3x squared minus 3x squared and we have 5x plus 6x. Now 3x squared minus 3x squared is 0 and they add up to give 11x. So 11x is the answer. The next one here, we need to multiply all of them. Now, normal mistake here is when you cube, you may forget to cube minus 2, right? Now, remember one thing, there are 3 negatives. This cube is also negative. So, the result is going to be negative, right? So, odd number of negatives will always give you negative. So, this negative is for taking care of all these negatives, right? Now, cube of 2. So, let's write like this. It is actually 2 cube, right? And then when you write this, you get m cube, n cube. So all are cube, right? Now that should be multiplied by, I've taken negative for all. Now, because there are odd number of negatives, right? So this is 3mn and we have 4mn. Now when you multiply, 2 cube is 8. So 8 times 12, 4 times 3 is 12, right? So you have 8 times 12, which is 96, right? With a negative sign, as far as m is concerned, add the powers. 3 plus 1, 4 plus 1, 5. And n powers are 3, 1, and 1, again 5. So that becomes your answer. Question number 3 is slightly difficult. We have rational function here. Now cube of all that, so we could write this as, again we have this minus 3 cube, right? So minus 3 cube. A, when you multiply the powers, power of power, they get multiplied. So we get a to the power of 6, b to the power of 12. Now this will be multiplied by negative. Now negative, when you square, it becomes positive, right? 4 square is 16. Let me write down. A to the power of 3 times 2, 6, and b to the power of 2, 1 times 2. In the denominator, we have to square the first part. So minus 5, minus gets squared becomes positive. 5 square is 25. A square will be a to the power of 4, b to the power of 6, right? And here we have to multiply it by ab. Now, we have these terms here. In the numerator, we have 3 cube, which is 27. And then we have to multiply 27 by 16, right? So, and here we have 25. Nothing in common, which is going to cancel, correct? So, we have this number. Let me write down this number as, and it's going to be negative. So, we have 27 times 16. We'll multiply this later. As far as a powers are concerned, we can add them. 6 and 6 is 12. As far as the b powers are concerned, 12 and 2, 14. In the denominator, we have 25. A and b increase by 1. So we get 5 and b is 7. So now, if the calculator is not allowed, you may just multiply 27 and 16. And if it is allowed, you can take the calculator and multiply 27 by 16, right? In this test, it is allowed. Okay, so we have this as minus 432 divided by 25. So those are the numbers, right? Now, as far as the powers of a is concerned, 12 minus 5 will give us a to the power of 7, and b, 14 minus 7 is 7. So that becomes our answer. Clear? Now, let's take up question number 4 and 5. This is again similar kind. So, let me write it here. Minus 4, when I open the bracket, is distributive property. We have to multiply both. So, we get minus 4x minus 20. So, remember to make this sign negative. Now, here when I open the bracket, I get minus 10x. Now, with this, minus and minus becomes positive. We have to multiply 5x with 7x minus 1. Correct? Now, we can combine these two terms at least. Minus 4 and minus 10 gives us minus 14x. Then we have minus 20 plus, again open the bracket, 5 times 7 is 35, x squared, and this gives us minus 5x. Combining the like terms, we get 35x squared, and minus 14 and minus 5 is minus 19x. The number here is minus 20. Question number 5. So we have a square. So let me share with you a formula for square, and we are going to use that formula. So if it is a plus b whole square, then it can be written as a square plus 2ab plus b square, correct? So that is how we are going to expand and then simplify the given polynomial. So we get this as equal to, expanding the first part, a square means 9x square, right? Minus 2ab, 2 times 3 is 6x, plus 1, and that is going to be multiplied by 2x minus 5 minus 5 times 3x plus 2. You could multiply both of them by 5 also. And here, when you expand, we get 4 squared as 16x squared minus 2ab, which is 8x plus 1. Clear? Now we can multiply each and every term. So we'll get actually 6 terms here. Multiplying by 9x squared gives us 18x cubed. Second term, minus 45x squared. With minus 6x, we get minus 12x squared plus 30x. And with 1, we get plus 2x minus 5. Now in this particular case, we have to multiply with 3x all these terms and also with 5. So what I will do here is that first step, let me just keep it as, I'll multiply with 5 all these terms. So we have 15x plus 10. That is a simpler multiplication. And here we have 16x squared minus 8x plus 1. Correct? Now, so we have one cube term here, which is 18x cubed. As far as the square terms are concerned, we have 2 of them. So we could combine this as 57x squared. X terms, we have 2 of them, plus 32x minus 5. And we are now going to expand this. So let me do 15 times 16. 15 times 16 is 240. So negative sign. So we get, it's better to write a square bracket, right? So now we'll not bother about the sign. It is taken outside. 15 times 16 is 240. X cubed. 15 times 8. Okay. Half of 240, which is 120, correct? So you get 120 as expected. So you get minus 120 x squared. And 15 times 1 is 15. With 10, it becomes 160x squared minus 80 x plus 10. Now let's combine the like terms. We have 18x cubed minus 240, correct? So first is, we have 18 minus 240, and that gives you minus 222x cubed. Now as far as the x terms are concerned, we have minus 57. Let me write down. So we have minus 57 as far as the x square terms are concerned. And this minus as minus, the signs will change. So we have plus 120. and then we have minus 160. That gives us minus 97. So we have minus 97x squared. Now let's count the x terms. We have 32. So we'll begin with 32. Inside x terms, we have to take away minus 15 and then plus 80. And that gives us 97. So we have plus 97x. Now the constants, we have minus 5, and in the bracket we have minus 10. So that is minus 15 is the constant. So that becomes the simplified form of the given expression. Here is question number 6. We need to find cube, right? So some of you, if you know the formula, you can use the formula. Otherwise, you need to expand, right? So a, let me write minus b itself. A minus b whole cube is a cube minus 3a square b plus 3ab square minus b cube. You could use this formula, or you may expand it using 2x minus 3, or you may do 2x minus 3 times 2x minus 3 whole square, and then do the distributive property, right? So either way you could do it. However, I'll just use the formula and write down the expansion. So we have 2x whole cube minus 3 times the first term 2x whole square times 3, and then we have plus 3 times 2x times 3 square, and then we have minus 3 cube, right? So you can also use the Pascal's triangle, right? So to do this, we know the Pascal's triangle. You could use that as the coefficients of the cubes. So some of you might know it, so that this is a good time to use it, right? So what we're trying to say here is the coefficients are 1, 3, 3, 1. Do you see this 1? So this coefficient is 1, 3, 3, and 1, correct? When it is negative, that this minus 3 takes over and you have this alternate negative signs. Clear? Okay. So let's do cube of this, which is 8x cubed. Now that is minus 3 times square of 2 is 4 times 3 plus 3 times 2x times 9 minus 27. So that gives us 8x cubed multiplying 9 times 4 is 36 plus 6 times 9 is 54 minus 27. Correct? So that is how we are going to write it. Question 7 is simplify and state degree of polynomials. So we have two expressions here. Let's multiply all of them by 5a cubed first. 5 times 3 is 15. A cubed, sorry, times 1, a is 4 here, right? A is also here. B cubed, c squared, plus 5 times 4 is 20. A, 3 plus 2 becomes 5. B to the power of 4 minus 5 times 3 is 15. A cubed c. In this expression, we have minus 2 a cubed bc minus 4 a squared b. Now, do we have any like terms here? We really don't. Now, to find the degree of the polynomial, which we are really interested in figuring out, we are wanting to find the highest power. Now, the highest power here is what? When you add the exponents, 4 and 3, 7 and 2, we get 9 for this, right? 5 plus 4 is also 9, and these are lesser. So the degree here is 9, correct? So we can write down that the degree is is 9, correct? So that is how we can actually get our solution, right? You can also count here 3, 4, and 3, 7, and 2, 9, correct? So that is how we'll get our degree. Question number 8. Find a simplified expression for the perimeter of a kite with two unequal sides as 2x minus 1 and x. So let me sketch one kite for you. So we have a kite is a structure which is kind of like this, whose sides, these sides are equal, right? Now we are given that two unequal sides are, this is x and the other one is 2x minus 1. We need to find the perimeter. So it is sum of these two, right? So the perimeter P will be twice sum of these two sides, right? Both are same. So it is x plus 2x minus 1, correct? So we get this as twice 3x minus 1. So when you open the bracket, we get 6x minus 2 units. Question 9. Can the expression 4x squared plus minus 5x squared plus 7x be added together? Briefly explain why or why not. Provide a solution if possible. So we have expression which is 4x squared. Let's try to add this with minus 5x squared plus 7x. Now we do have like terms, so it can be added. So it is 4x squared minus 5x squared plus 7x. Now these are like terms, so you can add and write this as, this is minus. So minus x squared plus 7x, right? So we could really add it. So we have like terms. Four x squared and minus 5x squared can be added. And that is what you will get as your result. Clear? Question number 10. Peter is packing 27 super balls in 3 square layers that fit snugly into the cube-shaped box. Find the ratio of volume of the balls to the volume of the cube. If the diameter of each ball is 3 centimeters, how much empty space is in the box, right? So let me share with you the diagram, right? So we'll make a cube here. And in the cube, we are going to fit these balls, right? So we have, let's say, 1, 2, 3. So we have this set of balls here. Okay. Let's say like this, right? So that is the cube for us. So that is the top view which you are looking at, right? Think like this. So we have 3 layers here, right? So we have 3 layers. So we get 9 times 3 as 27. Does it make sense to you? So that is kind of the sketch which can help you figure out the whole scenario. Now let's answer the question. Find the ratio of volume of the ball to the volume of the cube. Now in this case, we are given that, let's say we don't know what the radius is. In second part, we have diameter of each ball is 3 centimeters, right? So we know the diameter. Let's say, if I say that, let's say radius of each ball is r, is that okay? In that case, volume of each ball will be, volume of a sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube, right? 4 by 3 pi r cube. So that becomes volume of each ball. And so we have volume of 27 balls will be 27 times 4 by 3 pi r cube, right? And that gives you 9 times 4, 36 pi r cube, right? Now, if r is the radius, in that case, 2r, 2r, and 2r, each side will be 6r. Correct? And therefore, we have volume of cube will be 6r cube, right? So that is the volume of the cube, 6r cube, which we can write this as 6 cube. So let's find what 6 cube is. 216 r cube. Now we need to find the ratio of volume of balls to the volume of cube. So the ratio volume of all the balls, right, to volume of cubes. That is 36 pi r cube over 216 r cube. Now 36 is 6 times 6 and this is 6 cube, so 1 6 will be left here, right? So r cube and r cube will cancel, so we get pi by 6 as our answer. Is that clear to you? Right? So those are your unit cubes, and then you get this first answer. So let us highlight this and now find the other answer. So we're done part 1. Second is, if the diameter of each ball is 3 centimeter, how much empty space is in the box? So in that case, when we want to find the empty space, we are really finding difference between these two. Is that clear to you? So that is volume of the cube. Take away volume of all the balls, right? So in our case, what we get, volume of the cube is 216 r cube minus, we have 36 pi r cube, right? So let's simplify this. We can take 36 common, and what we have here, we can just use this, right? R we know is r is given to us, or we can just write an expression here first. So we get, okay, let's leave it. We'll just substitute the value of r. If the diameter is 3 centimeters, right? So we are given here, diameter d is 3 centimeters, and that gives you the value of r as 1.5 centimeters. So that is important, right? Radius is half of diameter, right? So the radius is 1.5 centimeter. So we're going to substitute this value and calculate. So we have 216 times 1.5 cube minus 36 times pi times 1.5 cube. Clear? So we'll use our calculator to do this calculation. 216 within brackets 1.5 cube minus 36 times pi times 1.5, I should put this in brackets, so 1.5 square equals to. So we have our answer, which is 474.5 approximately, right? And the units will be centimeter cube. Is that clear? So that is how we are going to solve this question. I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on polynomials. Here we have taken 2 application questions from a previous test paper. Question number 11 is, an area rug is to be purchased for a room that measures 8 meters by 6 meters. So let's draw a room which is 8 meters by 6 meters. Okay. The area rug is to be centered on the wooden floor of the room so that the distance from the width of the rug to the nearest wall is twice the distance from the length of the rug to the nearest wall. Determine an expression for the area of the rug in simplified form. So let's say we have here, so this will be the width, right? So this width will be smaller. So we are saying that distance is twice as far as the width is concerned and x as far as the length is concerned, right? So it's given that the distance from, the distance from the width of the rug is to the nearest wall, that becomes the nearest wall, is twice the distance from the length of the rug to the nearest wall. So if this is x, that becomes 2x, right? Now, so x is on both the sides and 2x is also on both the sides. We have a room which is 8 meters by 6 meters, correct? We need to find an expression for area of the rug. So area of the rug is length into width. So we need to now figure out, after all, how much is this length and how much is this width. So as far as this width is concerned, 6 minus 2x, right? So this is 6 minus 2x. So that becomes the width. And as far as the length is concerned, 8 from here, 2x is 4x minus 4x. Is that clear to us, right? So we have area as length into width, and clearly, as we have shown here, this is equal to 6 minus 2x times 8 minus 4x. Now, we'll actually expand this. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times minus 4 is 24x. Multiplying with negative 2, we get 16x, and that gives us plus 8x squared, right? So let's write down the leading coefficient first, 8x squared. The x terms, more negative, 6 and 4, 10, and then we have 40x, and we have plus 48, correct? And that becomes the area, and the units will be meters squared. So in any application question, you should be writing the units. The last question here, question number 12 is, determine the value of a, b, and c if the sum of 2x squared plus ax minus 1 and bx squared plus 5x plus c is that much, right? So let's write down these expressions. So we have 2x squared plus ax minus 1. The other one is bx squared minus 5x plus c. Now, if I have to find this sum, let me write down this sum here. So we have coefficient of x squared is 2 plus b, right? So 2 plus bx squared. This is, we have a minus 5 times x, and here we have c minus 1. So that becomes our sum. And now we are saying, if this is 8x squared, this is equal to 8x squared plus 2x plus 3, right? Then we have to find what is a, b, and c, correct? So I hope the question is absolutely clear. Now clearly, the coefficients should match. So we get our equation 8 should be equal to 2 plus b. So that gives us 8 minus 2, which is 6, is the value of b. 2 should be a minus b, right? So 2 equals to a minus 5. And that gives you 7 is the value of a. And we know c minus 1 should be equal to 3. So c is 3 plus 1, which is 4, correct? So we can now write down our answer that b is equal to 6, a is equal to 7, and c is equal to 4. Clear? So that is how we are going to answer this question. So I hope you have understood all the solutions. In this test paper, we actually solved 12 questions. This was the application part. Here are the other questions which we solved. I hope you have understood all the solutions. Feel free to write your comments, share your views. And if you like and subscribe to my videos, that would be great. Thanks for your time and all the best.